have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. She made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Wednesday evening to you, Jacksonville. A Thanksgiving Eve edition of Hacker After Dark with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. Taking you into a Thanksgiving weekend, which will be really interesting on the gridiron for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Of course, they go to Nashville on Sunday to take on the hated Tennessee Titans. You got Florida and Florida State in Gainesville on Saturday. Florida rounding out their regular season. Florida State needing a win to become bowl eligible. And, of course, in the backdrop of all of that is what will Lane Kiffin do? What news will come out about Lane Kiffin's future in the next 48 to 72 hours? So we got a lot to do with you here until 10 o'clock. Again, taking you in to a Thanksgiving weekend. In hour number one, former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts will join me. You get him every week here on Hacker After Dark as we will look back briefly on the win over Arizona, and we'll look ahead to the Jaguars and the Titans on Sunday in Nashville. So Cecil Shorts joins us coming up here in less than 15 minutes. Also, we will go to Nashville behind enemy lines. My guy up with the Titans is Tyler Rowland. He is the host of the Locked On Titans podcast. We will get his thoughts, his perspective on Tennessee. 1-10. They say they're playing better, and I tend to agree with that. They've lost their last three games by a combined 16 points. Where is Tennessee mentally going into this game? I know the fan base up there really doesn't want them to win again because they want that number one pick. Obviously, the organization's still trying to win. They're going to have a coaching search at the end of the year. Remember, Mike McCoy, who was with the Jaguar staff the previous 3 years, is the interim head coach up with the Titans. So we'll talk about all of that with Tyler Rowland, the host of the Locked On Titans podcast. He joins us here coming up later on in the 8 o'clock hour. We're glad you're with us to head on into a Thanksgiving weekend right here on Hacker After Dark. Every night on HAD, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night. And Dylan Denmark, let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal? What is the big deal?
No big deal.
It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
I'll get to Jaguars-Titans, a prediction in a moment. I'll get to a Florida State prediction in a moment. I want to begin with Lane Kiffin. Denmark, you and I recorded the Gator Bites podcast this morning about 12 hours ago. And I came in here tonight and I told you that felt like it was yesterday. It's been so long, but that went up. If you want to go listen to it, feel free. It's on the 1010XL Florida Gator Facebook page. It's also on the 1010XL social media platforms. And when we did that podcast this morning, my opinion hasn't changed significantly, but I've noticed something. You know, Denmark, on that podcast this morning, 12 hours ago, I said that some mornings you get out of bed, and with this whole Lane Kiffin saga, and you just get the news, well, it's likely he's staying at Ole Miss. And then some mornings you get the, well, it's likely he's coming to Florida. And then other mornings it's likely he's going to LSU. And the likely going to LSU has been pretty consistent now over the last 2, 3, 4 days. And during that podcast this morning, it was a feeling, things you read, you know, things you hear, that it was LSU. And 12 hours is not a significant amount of time. I haven't changed my opinion all that much, but I have noticed that throughout today, there's just an eerie quietness in Gainesville. I can't really explain it. It's like there was a lot of noise coming out of Gainesville and message boards with the Gators about a week or two ago. And now all the noise and all the message board fodder and all the rumors are with LSU. And there's just nothing really coming out of Gainesville. And I don't know how to read into that. I think LSU people would have you believe that Florida has, quote, conceded and moved on. I don't know whether that's true or not. But it's almost, dare I say, a little too quiet in Gainesville. I don't know if Florida's out of this thing, but I know there's a lot of LSU noise, and there's not much Florida noise. And as people would say, you don't really necessarily have to be afraid of the dog that's barking. Maybe you need to be afraid of the dog that's not barking. I don't know. I just, the quietness in Gainesville, Denmark, has got my attention today.
Well, ever since Lane Kiffin met with the Ole Miss AD, that was Friday afternoon, and then the details for the contract came out for LSU offering him whatever it was for how much money. Since then, we really haven't heard anything about anything from Florida side especially, but really from LSU side and what they're doing.
The LSU media, or at least the message board guys, and some media out there would have you think it's all but a done deal to LSU. But again, that's guys that cover LSU, that's podcast hosts. Matt Moscana, I do trust him. He's a good source out there, and he's gone on several podcasts saying he is of the opinion that Lane Kiffin is leaning LSU. But again, the Florida stuff it's very, very quiet on that front. You got to wonder why that is.
Well, yeah, and a lot of this too, information changes at the 11th hour. I talked about this on Gator Bites last Friday. LSU was trying to get a coach a couple years ago. They were looking. Remember, Lincoln Riley was in the conversation. At the 11th hour, Brian Kelly swoops in. Brian Kelly gets the job.
Yeah.
And something that's a little different with this situation is this entire thing with Ole Miss and how the Egg Bowl fares out. And then how does Texas A&M? Do they beat Texas? Because if they don't, I don't think you're going to get a decision from Lane Kiffin until late Saturday night, until after the Iron Bowl.
Yeah, because Ole Miss still has not been eliminated from the SEC championship game. I'll give you one better. I think Ole Miss is going to win the Egg Bowl. I'm not breaking any news there. But if they do not, we saw Ole Miss fall from 6 to 7, 6-7, right? As my as little hack would say. Yeah, dude, I hear that all the time. That's all he talks about is 6-7.
Every kid does.
Oh, it's crazy. It drives me nuts. But Ole Miss did fall from 6 to 7 last night. If Ole Miss loses the Egg Bowl, they're not going to the playoff.
No.
Which is crazy to think about, a 10-2 team that's been basically in the top 10 the entire year, or the top 15 the entire year. If they go to the Egg Bowl and lose, and Lane Kiffin leaves, and even if Lane Kiffin doesn't leave, I don't think Ole Miss is going to the playoff with a loss on Friday, which adds to this craziness that is this Lane Kiffin soap opera.
Yeah, well, they lose, and then you'd expect Kiffin to be gone. I mean, I have no way of seeing a world where Ole Miss loses and then Lane Kiffin stays.
So, real quick, if you're asking me right now, or if you're asking me when we convene here on Monday, do we have clarity in the Lane Kiffin situation, I will say yes. I will say I'm 55% LSU, maybe 35% Florida, and 10% Ole Miss. That's kind of where I'm at right now. If you had to put percentages on it, Denmark, where are you at?
I lean LSU slightly above Florida, and then Ole Miss third. So I'd say I go 50% LSU, 35% Florida, and then the rest Ole Miss.
Yeah, so you and I are roughly the same. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. As far as Florida State, kudos to you if you're going to the game. It is senior day, so you get to honor the seniors down there. What a shame that this has turned into this. Blue and I were talking about this as he was leaving. I mean, this used to be Thanksgiving weekend. Florida State, man. Bobby Bowden versus Steve Spurrier, right? Charlie Ward and all the great Florida State players. Jameis Winston. Danny Warfel, Tim Tebow, Chris Winkie, Percy Harvin, Peter Warwick, go on down the line. This year, it's the 5-6 Seminoles, and all their fans care about is they're angry that Norvell's coming back next year against the 3-8 Gators, who really couldn't care less and just are wondering what Lane Kiffin's going to do. I'm going to take Florida State because I think they have more to play for in getting to a bowl game, and I just think Florida's offense is putrid right now. So give me Florida State by a touchdown in Gainesville on Saturday. Of course, you'll hear that game right here on 1010XL. As far as the Jaguars and the Titans on Sunday in Nashville, what have we talked about all week? Can't look past this game. Can't look past this game. What have we heard coming out of Nashville? They're playing better. I know they're only 1-10, but they're playing better. Cam Ward had his best game as a Titan. Keep in mind, that was a 30-17 Seahawk lead, and Tennessee got a touchdown with like 40 seconds to go. Garbage time touchdown. I very rarely pick the Jaguars to win a game big. I've picked against them a lot this year. I've been right some, I've been wrong some. Certainly not perfect. But very rarely do I think Jacksonville is going to have a relatively easy time of it. I think they have a relatively easy time of it on Sunday. I think they've heard all week and will continue to hear that they can't have a letdown. I think people in Tennessee are confident that their 1-10 football team is, quote, playing better. I think we put them back down to planet Earth a little bit on Sunday. Give me the Jaguars. Give me them by 2 possessions. I won't go anything crazy. I'll say Jacksonville 27, Tennessee 16. Jaguars by 11. Jaguars get to 8-4, and that sets up one of the biggest regular season home games in franchise, at least recent franchise history, against the Colts. Excuse me. Now, with the Colts and the Texans, I talked about this with Taylor and Tom on Helmets and Heels earlier today. 2 different ways you could go. It's not bad. Either Houston loses or Indy loses. Let's hope we don't get a tie, because then that's a very confusing scenario. I know most people believe that you want Indy to lose. And while I wouldn't mind that, Indy's schedule after this week is considerably harder than Houston's schedule after this week. I'm almost rooting for Indy. I want to put another loss on Houston, kind of get them out of it a little bit. Knock them back down to 6-6. For me, I would take an Indy win, have Indy 9-3, the Jaguars 8-4, and then the Jaguars see Indy mano-a-mano next week. I would love for the Texans to have another loss on them. So I hope the Colts get it done over Houston. Let's preview the Jaguars and the Titans. Let's also talk a little bit about the Colts-Texans. Former Texan and a former Jaguar wide receiver. My buddy Cecil Shorts, he joins me next to talk a little AFC South, primarily about your and his former team, the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's next, Wednesday night, Thanksgiving Eve, here on Hacker After Dark. And as always, Jacksonville, we are glad you are with us.
Get in the huddle with 1010XL's QB.
All right, guys, let's make a play for 1010XL.
David Garrard joins Mike and Fat Tony on Jaguars Today. Restored by Resto Pros of Northeast Florida on 1010XL.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning, then deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
Hey folks, Frank Franzi here for Lee and Kate's Glass. Now with the holidays coming, it's time to update that dated-looking bathroom setup and give yourself the gift of a gorgeous new frameless shower with big sexy glass you spend every morning and night in that bathroom. A new shower enclosure from Lee and Kate's Glass will look fantastic and make your bathroom feel like a luxurious spa. You'll love it. You deserve it. Request the free in-home consultation. Visit leeandkatesglass.com.
You're gonna see a big difference.
Take a radio boat ride with Captain Cabin on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Wheeled in by the Pest Pros at Royal Pest Services. And awaken 180 weight loss.
Thursday nights at 6.
On 1010XL AM.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experience, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
What is the only NFL team that has never played a game on Thanksgiving Day? The answer next.
When your homeowner's insurance policy is up for renewal, it's a good idea to shop around to find a better plan. Southern Oak Insurance for over 20 years provides Floridians a clear option. SouthernOak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The only NFL team that hasn't played on Thanksgiving Day, our hometown Jacksonville Jaguars.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
It's Thanksgiving week, and Monahan Jewelers has the best deals in town with up to 40% off the entire store. Thousands of beautiful pieces are all on sale with fantastic prices on our entire inventory, including up to 30% off on GIA certified diamonds. We're your local family jeweler, so come visit us today and on Small Business Saturday for up to 40% off on diamond studs, engagement rings, colored gemstones, our designer brands, custom design, everything. The name you can trust in fine jewelry, Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
Pickett here with a game winner. It's Checkmate Coatings. I've scouted them all. And this Jacksonville crew's the real deal.
I'm Brendan, owner of Checkmate Coatings. We transform pool decks, driveways, and patios with pro precision.
Score big at checkmatecoatings.com. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminex. When mice and rats show up in your home or business, they can be a real pain. You need them out fast, before they have time to multiply. Terminex knows how to shut down rodents and will keep them from coming back to wreak more havoc. When rodents show up, so does Terminex. Don't live with a rodent problem, Terminex does. Visit Terminex.com today to schedule a free inspection online just like I did. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Titans, Sunday, 1 o'clock. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. The Jaguars 7-4 on the year after another overtime road victory last week against Arizona. Let's look back on Arizona. Let's preview Tennessee. And let's also talk about a huge AFC South matchup that has ramifications for the Jaguars when Houston goes to play Indianapolis. Let's do that with a former Jaguar and a former Texan wide receiver, my buddy Cecil Shorts, always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Cecil, how we doing, man?
I'm good, RG. How about yourself?
Cecil, we're good. Thank you so much for the time. What a roller coaster on Sunday in Phoenix, Arizona, or I guess Glendale, Arizona. Boy, the ups and downs of that game, Cecil. First and foremost, how many games were you a part of in your NFL career where you were -4 in the turnover differential and actually still won the football game?
-4 and 1, probably none. That's a rare thing, but I think I'm gonna say it over and over again. Liam Cohen is he knows what he's doing over there. He's getting those guys to believe. I think most importantly, he's getting those guys to fight. Like they never are giving up. They are never feeling like they're out the game and can't figure out a way to come back. These guys are continuing to fight and claw, and no matter what it takes to try to get this victory. So it was pretty cool to watch on Sunday.
I know you've been pretty high on Parker Washington for a while now. Parker is really coming into his own, not only on special teams, but on Sunday. He had 5 grabs, 71 yards, and that huge touchdown in the fourth quarter. Boy, it really looks like he's emerging.
Confidence is a real thing, man. Like, once you believe and understand that you can play in this league, and you're like, okay, the lights aren't too bright for you, and you know what to do and to be in the right spots, and you build that chemistry with your quarterback. That's what he's done. He's continuing to get better and better and better, especially when the lights are the brightest. So I'm extremely excited for him. But I think this is just scratching the surface for what he can do in a Jaguar uniform. He was a 5th-round pick not too long ago. And he's always been an explosive guy that can make plays on special teams and when his number is called at Penn State. But this dude is consistent. This dude can make plays. He has strong hands. And he is somebody right now, as his confidence is sky high. And when a receiver has confidence sky high right now, it's an exciting thing to see. So him and Trevor has some type of relationship on the field that they just trust each other. And when you have that, it not only builds confidence for the quarterback, but the receiver and the offense as well. So in big moments, like we saw in the fourth quarter this past Sunday, those things happen.
You know, we saw how much the Jaguars missed Brenton Strange. He was back, 5 grabs, 93 yards. You throw Jacoby Myers into the works, and they're going to get Brian Thomas Jr. back at some point, maybe as early as this week. Cecil, I got to tell you, man, when they get BTJ back with the guys that are emerging, even without Travis Hunter, this passing attack could be pretty good down the stretch.
Yeah, it could be pretty good. I'm actually interested to see BTJ come back, because now I feel like some of the pressure's off of him, right? Strange, 93 yards or 91 something, 90 yards last week. Myers, a touchdown and 50 yards and like 5 grabs. So you got playmakers across the field. So I feel like some pressure may be off of BTJ. Like, all right, cool, let me go out there and just make the plays that come to me. I don't have to force anything or feel like I got to be the guy. Just go out there and be yourself, right? And I think that can be a really good thing for him when other guys on that offense are making plays consistently. It kind of can help him, like, okay, let me relax, go out there and just play my game, and maybe we'll see him ascend like he did last year.
Former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Cecil, Trevor Lawrence, it was not a thing of beauty on Sunday. I mean, he had 3 picks. He had another fumble. Look, were they all his fault? Probably not. Were some of them his fault? Yeah, they probably were. But the one thing I'll say about Trevor, man, you know, even despite that fourth quarter drive to go ahead and give them the lead there with 4 minutes to go, and then the overtime drive to get him a field goal, Trevor responds to adversity pretty well, and I believe that's the 4th time this year he's had a game-winning drive in either the fourth quarter or in overtime.
I tell you what, and this may this may sound crazy. This may sound people say, I don't want to hear from Cecil. This is stupid. He reminds me of some Jameis Winston a little bit. Somebody that's not afraid of the big moment. Somebody that's been stepping up. Somebody that he'll turn the ball over at times. And sometimes it's a bad turnover. Sometimes it's like, what are we doing, Trevor? But in the biggest moments, in those 4 games you mentioned, he's stepping up. He's poised. He's calm. He's out there leading the troops. And the guys believe in him. Mm-hmm. And the guys like playing for him. And that's a really big deal. Like, that's a big deal. When you get in that huddle as a quarterback, as a receiver, as a tight end, as an offensive lineman, you can look your quarterback in the face. And then he goes out there and you see the confidence and the poise he has. It wears off on everybody else. And then he goes out there and delivers. That's a big deal. Right? That's a really big deal. So I'm actually proud of Trevor, man, because it's not easy to do it. I feel like he's had a ton of pressure over his life, just being the next coming of Jesus, right? Coming out of Clemson and everything else. So for him to fight through the adversity, because he had 4 turnovers, and whether we say it's on him or not, it's him that fumbled the ball. It's him that's throwing the interceptions, right? And some of them were good plays, not going to lie. Buda Baker was a really good play. And some was on him for holding the ball a little bit or making a bad decision, but he's making the plays when it's needed. And that's what you want from your quarterback. And let's see now, right? So I think you won 3 out of the last 4. And you got a Tennessee game this week. I think for me, I'm watching, okay, how do you handle success? How do you handle this, Jacksonville, right? How does Trevor handle this? How does the team handle this? You just won 2 big games back-to-back. Now, how do you move forward against a team that you should beat, right? Now you have a chance to be, if I'm not mistaken, you'll be 8-4 at the top of the division if something happens with depending on what happens with the Colts in the Texas game, right? But you're ascending in the right direction. So the question is, how do you handle success? Do you lay down because the Tennessee Titans and they're not good this year, or do you continue to put your foot on their neck and play the type of ball you need to play to win the game? So I'm excited for Trevor. I get rid of turnovers though, but he's playing big in the big moments.
And to that point, I mean, look, if there's a team in the NFL that knows they can't overlook anybody, it would have to be the Jaguars, right? They lost to Jake Browning. They lost to Davis Mills. They almost lost to the lowly Raiders. The Cardinals as well. Yeah, the Titans are 1-10. But, I mean, you look at Tennessee, they are playing better. Their last 3 losses have only been by a combined 16 points. I guess the fear here, Cecil, is with Indianapolis next week. Is there a look-ahead factor? But again, the Jaguars, to me, there is no look-ahead factor because of what they've already gone through this season.
No, I feel you. A lot of people say it's like a trap game. It's like, like college football, like a trap game. You're playing, Samford this week, but you have, LSU the following week. Like, you have to stay focused on the task at hand. You understand? Like you said, Tennessee is getting better. You should beat them on paper, but they are getting better. Cam Ward is special. In my opinion, he can make some really, really good throws. But I think this falls back on Liam. How well he's doing right now. Can he continue to teach these guys how to handle success and how to win, right? And they're starting to get it. You're starting to see, okay, what Liam is preaching, what Gladstone is preaching, what these guys are saying every day in the locker room is starting to seep through and make sense to the team. So for them, if they go out there to handle business on Sunday, which they should do, that's credit to the head coach. That's credit for him getting his guys ready every single week. Because, again, they have to learn. They know how to handle adversity, but they have to learn how to handle success. How do you handle being a good team consistently, right? And that's what separates the really good teams and the teams that are just good every once in a while, right? So I think this falls on the head coach, and he's doing a heck of a job right now. Very, very, nothing but good things to say about Cohen. He's doing a really good job getting his team ready week in and week out.
Final moments with former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts. I want to end, Cecil, with a thought on Houston and Indianapolis, quickly on Cohen, since you brought him up. Look, I don't think he's going to win Coach of the Year because you look at what Vrabel's doing in New England, even Steichen in Indy, Ben Johnson, Chicago, and those teams are more covered nationally than Jacksonville is. But I got to tell you, man, this team was 5-18 in the previous 23 games before Cohen's arrival. All the stuff he's had to deal with, including losing his number 2 overall pick in practice to a season-ending knee injury, all the injuries they've had. They had 16 guys on the injury report one day last week, and Cohen's got them 7-4 and controlling their own destiny for a postseason berth. I think Liam Cohen has done a fantastic job here in year number 1.
Hey, I tell you what, if they mess around and win 11 and 12 games or something like that, he darn right should win Coach of the Year. I don't care what happens in New England. I don't care what happens everywhere else. Like, think about all they had to go through in Jacksonville. Like, who thought this would happen in Jacksonville this year? You know what I mean? Like, the idea of you just talked about the record they had the last 4 or 5 years. You talked about just the changing the whole culture, the identity of what's going on. To me, and what he's enabling them to do, or helping them able to do, he no doubt about it should be in the Coach of the Year in the conversation. If they go out there and win 11-12 games, continue to ascend, continue to put themselves in playoff picture, and really kind of separate themselves as a division leader, oh my gosh! Now this is going to be a lot. This stretch is going to say a lot. The last 4, 5, 6 games, whatever it is going to say a lot. Because I believe all 3 of the Houston, Tennessee, Jacksonville, they play each other. It's some tough road it's really a tough road for Houston and the Colts. I think Jacksonville has the easier record. I mean, the easier schedule, quote unquote. When we look at the teams that they're playing, they got Tennessee twice, if I'm not mistaken, right, RG?
Yeah, they got Tennessee twice, Indy twice, the Jets, and the Broncos.
Still it's not a savvy schedule, but you compare it to the other 2, I think it's a little less rough. If they can figure it out, he should be in the runners, man. He's doing a heck of a job leading this team, getting them to believe and teaching them how to win. And really, the adversity they fight through. This team is fighting and clawing, man. Like, they are a team that's feisty. And it's fun to watch because they're never out of a game. So I think he's doing a good job. He's kind of taking care of his guys and getting the most out of them.
Final moments with former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts. You're always going to be a former Jaguar here. You're obviously a former Houston Texan as well. Boy, a big game in the South. We're going to be very interested bystanders. We're going to keep an eye on what's going on between Houston and Indianapolis. If Houston wants any shot at the division, they have to go up there and they have to win. And Indianapolis, you wonder if they were exposed a little bit, Cecil. You and I talked about this in weeks past. They had a pretty easy schedule. They go to Kansas City. Yeah, it was close, but Daniel Jones did not look good. I think they got 10 first downs total in that game last week. It's a great opportunity for Houston going to Indy on Sunday.
Well, I think the Chiefs kind of laid the blueprint out. Like, hey, let's put 8 people in the box. Let's really focus on stopping Jonathan Taylor, who was extremely special, and let's let Daniel Jones beat us, right? And when the Chiefs buckled down in the second half and said, hey, we're gonna make sure that JT doesn't beat us, but you, Daniel Jones, beat us, he didn't deliver last week, right? He didn't deliver. He didn't show up like he needed to help his team win. They did blow a 20-9 lead. They did get out, right? And then the Chiefs came back and made some plays. But it's going to be interesting this week because how good of defense that Houston plays. Like, they're able to play man coverage outside with whoever in the league. They're able to play man coverage with Stingley, Lassiter, Kalen Bullock, whoever they want. Jalen Petrie might be back this week. Whoever they want. They can play man coverage. Now it's about, can Daniel Jones find a way to score on that defense and that offense continue going, honestly. So it's going to be an interesting game. But I'm telling you what, the Colts have a tough schedule coming up. A lot of important games. We're going to learn a lot about that team and Jacksonville and Houston as the season winds to an end.
Yeah, the AFC South did it perfectly because the Jaguars still play the Colts twice. The Colts still have to play the Texans twice. It is going to be a beautiful end to the season in the AFC South. Cecil Shorts is our guy when it comes to talking Jaguars and the AFC South, a former Jaguar and a former Houston Texan. Cecil, happy Thanksgiving, buddy, to you and your family. Always appreciate you, and we'll talk again next week, pal.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving to you too, RG. Take care.
There you go, Cecil Shorts with us every week here on Hacker After Dark. Always appreciate him. And, yeah, we're going to get a lot of clarity in the AFC South this week. The Jaguars and the Titans. If the Jaguars go up there and get the win, they go to 8-4, happening at the same time. Also a 1 o'clock kick on Sunday, Texans at Colts. A loss for Houston probably ends their division hopes because Indy would go to 9-3. Houston would fall to 6-6. That would put the Colts 3 games ahead of the Texans with 5 to go. Under that scenario, Jacksonville would be 2 games ahead of Houston with 5 to go. That's kind of the scenario that I want. I know it's also easy to think, well, you want the Colts to lose to go to 8-4. Jacksonville with a win in Tennessee would be 8-4. But that would get Houston to 7-5. And I don't want 3-way ties. I don't want any of that. I rather duke it out with Indy. So I'm going to kind of be pulling for the Colts this weekend to put another loss on the Houston Texans. We've talked a lot about that game. Certainly looked a lot from the Jaguar side of the Jaguar-Titan game. What about the Tennessee Titans? Brian Callahan fired about a month ago. Calvin Ridley out for the year. Has he played his last game as a Tennessee Titan? How has Cam Ward done? Why are the Titans 1-10 and the worst team in the NFL? And is there any hope for them in the final 6 games? Our guy when it comes to the Titans is Tyler Rowland. He is the host of the Locked On Titans podcast, and he joins us next on a Wednesday night, a Thanksgiving Eve here in Northeast Florida, and we're glad you're with us. Hacker After Dark till 10 o'clock on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM.
Get the weekend feeling all day Friday.
Best feeling in the world, isn't it?
That's why we give you Pre-Game Friday.
You're going to love this.
Get the news, notes, and inside stuff you need to get ready for game day. Built by Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL.
Truth Teller here, and I've solved all of your holiday problems and stress. A gift card from the Blue Crab Crab House. Get this, you buy a $50 gift card, and you get an additional $15 card for free. It's that simple, and as always at the Blue Crab Crab House, the best crabs in Jacksonville. oysters, and seafood, period. Blue Crab Crab House, open every day except for Monday off of San Jose on Jewington Creek Road.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. Thank you for trusting us for 55 years of custom welding fabrication and vehicle towing accessories. When you need a trailer hitch for the family car, a gooseneck for the company truck, or even RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We can do a bumper hitch, fifth wheel hitch, anything for safe, reliable towing. Come to Cannons of Jacks, where service is our #1 priority and we treat our customers as we like to be treated. Check us out online, cannonsofjacks.com.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Jacksonville is my hometown, and nobody knows roofing like me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We handle everything from repairs to full roof replacements, start to finish. We give honest quotes, use quality materials, and clean up like we were never there. We all look at Google reviews, so go ahead and check out ours. We're proud of all our 5-star ratings. I would say we treat you like family, but some people don't like theirs. Go to BrandonRoofing.com today to schedule your free roof quote.
License number CCC 1328006.
Is your home ready for the holidays? Beat the holiday rush and call Zero Res. 3 rooms to carpet clean starting at just $149 and a 4th room free with a canned food donation. Plus $75 off air ducts as well. Book online anytime at ZeroResJacksonville.com.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller. Jason, I called you about the ductwork in my attic this summer, and you totally blew me off.
I did.
My airflow is too low and my bills are too high.
I know.
There's stains on my ceiling tiles and sweating around the vents, and the mice have chewed so many holes in the ducts, I think they're getting more AC than I am.
I know.
Then how could you let me suffer all summer, Jason?
Because summer is the one time of year I just can't send my technician into someone's steaming hot attic. They'd kill me. Ductwork is hot, cramped work at the best of times. Lucky for you, those best of times are in November.
You mean like now?
Bueller Air and Plumbing can repair your old, damaged, or just plain sketchy ductwork right now when it's not too hot and not too cold.
And none of your technicians will kill you.
It's a win-win.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hey, it's Joe C. The chill is in the air and your backyard can still be the heart of the season. Gather your family around a beautiful outdoor fireplace from Isocurrent or Napoleon, expertly installed by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. From elegant stone fireplaces to wood-burning or gas fire pits, CSS creates cozy spaces where memories are made and where every night can feel like a celebration. You dream it, they can build it. Visit their showroom or online at cssfireplaces.com.
CSS. Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Just recently, Cam Little was good from 68 yards to set an NFL field goal record. You know who else goes the distance? The team at Coil Fencing. Coil is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and has been serving the Jacksonville community for nearly 100 years. From sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love to tough chain link for your commercial project. Coil does it all. Visit CoilJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Jaguars Titans Sunday 1 o'clock. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. The Jaguars now 7-4 after their overtime win out in Arizona. Go to play a Tennessee team that, although is 1-10, has certainly looked better in the last couple of weeks. Let's get the perspective from the Titans side of this matchup. Our guy when it comes to the Tennessee Titans is Tyler Rowland. He is the host of the Locked On Titans podcast, and Tyler's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Tyler, how we doing, man?
I'm doing great. You know, it's kind of crazy. You're right. The team is 1-10. Things are not awesome in Tennessee right now. But one thing that is looking pretty good is Cam Ward over the last few weeks, and that's enough to kind of put some wind in Tennessee Titans fans' sails. So the Titans lost, and it's been a rough season, but you're catching the Titans at maybe one of the most optimistic points of the entire year.
You know, it's interesting, and trust me, here in Jacksonville, we know all about seasons that have gone downhill very, very quickly. We're kind of on the other side of that right now. From a mile-high view, Tyler, we haven't talked in over a month. What has gone wrong in Nashville? Why did it work out this way?
Well, I think the number one answer is the coaching on the offensive side of the ball is the worst in the NFL. It's the lack of creativity with the motions, the shifts, layering plays on top of each other that look similar. They just don't do enough of that stuff to help their young quarterback. When you have a rookie quarterback, as folks in Jacksonville know, it was a tough year in Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence, with Urban Meyer and all that like that. You know, it just makes it incredibly tough when you got a rookie quarterback starting and then you got some terrible, terrible coaching around him and development. So that's the number one problem, in my opinion, is the offensive coaching is just so bad that it's tanked the team, and that's why Callahan got fired, and Mike McCoy hasn't done much better, in my opinion, despite the Titans looking more competitive as of late. I think that's solely a player situation, if I'm honest with you. And then, you know, the roster is bad on top of that. It's not all coaching. This isn't a high level of players that the Titans have on either side of the ball at this moment in time. But, you know, those are the biggest contributing factors. You have a rookie quarterback, you have bad coaching, you have a bad roster. That'll make for a bad season for just about anybody. But the Titans are going through it right now on their way to back-to-back number one overall pick. So it's about as bad as it's ever been for the Titans. I've been following this team for 25, 26 years now, and this is the worst football team that I've ever watched.
Wow, I mean, you mentioned Cam Ward. He's 11 games in, and again, he's not throwing to the greatest wide receivers. His running game is basically non-existent, and his offensive line is not very good either. Having said all that, he is certainly showing signs of improvement.
We could say that as of late. He definitely had his struggles during the middle of the season, and it's hard when, you know, a fan base wants to be excited about a rookie quarterback. Not many things are going well, and he's not, you know, playing his best either. You got to be honest there, but the last couple of weeks, he has just really seen the game slow down. It's a bit hyperbolic to use the example, but in the Matrix, showing my age, I guess, a little bit with that, you know, Neo starts to figure it out and slow down the bullets in front of him. He puts his hand out. He kind of slows them down. Again, a bit hyperbolic, but that seems like what Cam Ward's been able to do the last couple of weeks. He played the Houston Texans, the number one defense in the NFL. We know the Seattle Seahawks are an excellent football team and a great aggressive defense with a cutting-edge mind, and Mike McDonald, their head coach. And he's played Cam Ward played better against Houston than Josh Allen did last week on Thursday Night Football. So you got to give some credit to the young guy. His numbers look better, the completion percentage. And, you know, I dive into the tape every single week and have been doing my film breakdowns on what he's doing. He's just playing quarterback in a more consistent professional manner. And I think we get so over the top worked up about the wow throws that quarterbacks make, when in reality, these great quarterbacks that play until late, like Matthew Stafford is right now, the reason they can play so late into their career isn't because they still have the talent to make the wow plays. It's because they do the boring plays so well and so consistently. And on a rookie quarterback level, Cam Ward's been able to do that with much more consistency in the last couple of weeks since the bye.
Tyler Rowland is the host of the Locked On Titans podcast. He's with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Jaguars Titans Sunday 1 o'clock up in Nashville. A guy we're familiar with down here is Chim Dike from his time at Florida. You guys got him in round 4. Looks like a really, really good find for you guys in the mid-rounds.
Yeah, he's leading the NFL in all-purpose yards right now over, Jackson Smith and Jigba and Bijan Robinson and Jonathan Taylor and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy. He's the first guy with a 90-yard punt return touchdown for the Titans since Pac-Man Jones, which, talking about showing your age, that was a long time ago for the Titans. 2 punt return touchdowns in his rookie season. That's something that guys like Devin Hester and Dez Bryant have done. Some great returners have done there. There's about 6 or 7 guys. So he's really showing out right now. And I compared it to a yin yang. There's a little good and all the bad and a little bad and all the good. He has certainly been the good and a lot of bad for the Titans. He's an all-pro, Pro Bowl level player as a rookie, as a returner, and blossoming as a young receiver as well, which was a bit of a question mark out of Florida. It's funny because they take Gunnar Helm, the tight end out of Texas, and they take Alec Manor, the wide receiver out of Stanford, in the 4th round. Jim DK is the one they picked first before both those guys, but he got the least amount of fanfare during the draft. It just goes to show you never really know what you're going to get, and DK has been probably the most impressive part of the team so far.
I know Calvin Ridley is out for the year. Obviously, it has not really worked out for him up there. Is his time as a Tennessee Titan over, in your opinion?
I think before the injury, I was pretty convinced that would not be the case. I think that they would have kept him around last year. I mean, at some point in time, you got to weigh the cost of, he's getting paid too much, but Cam Ward needs somebody to throw to, and there's only so much talent we can reasonably add in the offseason with the assets and the people who are going to be available. A $26 million cap hit is a lot, but again, who else is going to play wide receiver? A bunch of young guys. You're going to bring in some rookies. But after the injury, is he going to come back? I thought he had already lost a little bit of a step. Is he going to lose even more of a step? At the end of the day, the Titans have a financial decision there where they can save basically $16 million if they do it as a post-June 1st cap cut. But if they do it just regular, they only save 10 million and they eat 16. So they're either going to do it as a post June 1st or they're not going to do it at all. It's not that great of an opportunity to save money. I'm kind of 50-50, but I guess right now you could say maybe they'd move on. But I think after you look at the landscape and who's actually available in free agency, I think they might end up keeping him and maybe reworking the deal.
Final moments, Tyler Rowland, the host of the Locked On Titans podcast. Tyler, defensively, it obviously stops and starts with Jeffrey Simmons. I know he's been pretty vocal about how the team has performed to this point. Outside of Jeffrey Simmons, what is there to be excited about on the Titans defense?
Hey, they got 2 young guys in the secondary. Kevin Winston, a rookie safety out of Penn State. Some people said he might have been a fringe first-rounder or an early second-rounder if he didn't tear his ACL during the college season, his last season in college at Penn State. But he's played pretty well. He got beat deep in one-on-one against Jackson Smith and Jigba. That's maybe the best wide receiver in the NFL this year so far. So, that happens, but he's been pretty impressive. And they have a 7th-round, 6th-round rookie, Marcus Harris, their cornerback. He's a slot corner. He's got some run as the Titans are on their 4th, 5th, and 6th cornerbacks of the season. He's gotten some run as of late, and he's been pretty impressive. But I think it's a tough task with Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville makes a run here and wins the division. I think the Colts are about to have a little bit of collapse with the schedule ahead. So I think this is a tough matchup for the Titans when they do get their hands on Jacksonville twice. I think the Jags are just warming up as a team, but the Titans got some young stuff to be excited about. I just don't think it'll translate into too many wins down the stretch.
Again, we feel your pain covering a team that's 1-10. I certainly can relate. What will the crowd be like in Nashville on Sunday? Is the crowd still bought into this team, or are they just waiting to get to the offseason at this point?
Well, I just complimented Jacksonville, and then you asked me this question where I kind of got to, give a little bit of criticism. When the Titans play other fan bases that are very hardcore fan bases like Seattle, who filled the stadium, like Green Bay, a game I went to recently, Go Pack Go is ringing through the stands because it's 75% Packers fans. I don't think that Jacksonville is going to go to Nashville with such vigor and enthusiasm as those fan bases do, probably because it's a division game and it's not as exciting. Like, we're taking a trip to Nashville. We're just in Jacksonville. It's not that, outrageous as other places. I just don't think Jacksonville is going to be that enthused to come to Tennessee and pack the game. and the Titans fans are kind of out on the team a little bit too. So I don't think it's going to be a very well-attended game, in my opinion.
Well, we'll see what happens. As we begin to wrap up, I'm curious your thoughts on the South. You kind of mentioned it earlier. Boy, what a crazy weekend upcoming. Jaguars, Titans, obviously Texans, Colts. I'm a little torn here in Jacksonville, assuming Jacksonville beats Tennessee, and we'll end on that game in a moment. It could be a really interesting week for Jacksonville because, Tyler, I could see either side of it. I could see the Jaguar fans wanting Indy to lose, certainly, but I also see a point wanting Houston to lose with how hot they are. What's your thought on the Colts and the Texans?
Well, I think both those teams are playing good football. I think the Texans' front four is so good, and their defense is so stacked right now. Daniel Jones is starting to have those turnover problems creep back in. He wasn't very good in the second half when they kind of needed to rely on him against the Chiefs this weekend. I think the Texans let loose that front four, that defense on him, make him uncomfortable. And Colts fans might start chewing their fingernails a little bit here at Jacksonville the week after that. Again, Jacksonville needs to be healthy up front, but they have a good pass rush, and you can get after it with those two good edge rushers. And the offense, Trevor Lawrence is so inconsistent. It blows my mind. I don't get it, but they're running the ball so well. If Lawrence can just, most of his interceptions are come when they're leading the game. He just makes some boneheaded decisions that he's so talented. It blows my mind sometimes, but I think winning in the trenches is what's most important. And with the schedule the Colts have here, they play at Seattle. They have a Monday night game against San Francisco in between these two division games with the Jags and the Texans. I think if the AFC South stands up and the Texans and Jags hold their ground like I think they can, we could see a collapse from Indy, and I think Jacksonville would be the beneficiary. I think they're the most talented team in the division right now.
Tyler Rowland, Locked On Titans podcast. All right, Tyler, leave us with this. I am screaming from the hilltops. Anybody that wants to listen to me, do not overlook the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans would love nothing more than to really put some salt in a wound for the Jaguars and trying to make this division run here. And if any team in the NFL knows at this point they can't overlook anybody, it's got to be Jacksonville, with losing to Jake Browning in Cincinnati, losing to Davis Mills and Houston, almost losing to the awful Raiders, and almost losing to a bad Cardinals team. So I don't think Jacksonville is going to overlook Tennessee. How do you see this game on Sunday there in Nashville?
Ryan, I am scared that the Titans are going to win this game. I am scared. The Titans are playing better football. They just played two really, really great defenses, like two of the best defenses, maybe 1 and 2 of the top 5 at minimum. And Jacksonville's defense has been good. Devin Lloyd is a difference maker when he's out there. Like, it makes him different, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, these are two ugly cousins that have been wrestling in the mud every Thanksgiving for decades. It doesn't matter how good the Titans get, how good the Jags get. When we see each other, we're just ugly cousins who will wrestle in the mud. I don't care how much money you make, your new job, you graduated, nobody matters. You're still ugly to me. So, I think that this is going to be a close game. I think that the Titans are going to put up a good showing. I think Jacksonville might win late, but man, if I couldn't imagine Trevor Lawrence throwing a couple of bad interceptions and the Cam Ward playing good football and the Titans kind of getting things going. These games are always close. Division games are always wonky. The Titans, it's more important for them to get the number 1 draft pick so they can trade down and stack things. So I would be more happy with a close competitive loss. That would be the best thing for the Titans. But boy, I'm scared the Titans are going to find a way to pull this one off, because like I know, Jacksonville will do some weird stuff too, even though they're better than that. And with these two teams, it's always going to be a little closer than you expect.
Jags-Titans, Sunday in Nashville. You'll hear it right here on 1010XL. Tyler Rowland is the host of the Locked On Titans podcast. Tyler, I tell you this every time, man. You do a terrific job with that podcast. Thank you for joining me, and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy Thanksgiving, and enjoy the football feast.
Put on your boots, belt buckle, and cowboy hat. Trevor's in town for a touchdown tune-up and a tip of the cap. The rhythm's right for a sax symphony in Music City.
Get down, turn around, go to town.
A Duval-style takedown in Tennessee. Jaguars, Titans. It's felines, fiddles, and a honky-tonk stomp. Sunday at 1 on the home of the Jaguars. 1010XL.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Chelsea here, ready to upgrade your windows or patio doors? During Renewal by Anderson's Black Friday sales event, buy now and pay nothing until 2027. That's 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 2 full years. Our Acclaim Impact windows are built for Florida homes, designed to help you save on energy bills while keeping your home comfortable all year round. Restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free in-home design consultation. License number CGC 1527613. Renewal by Anderson, where comfort meets savings.
The wait is over. Sunday, December 7th, your Jacksonville Jaguars return to Everbank Stadium for a massive division showdown against the Indianapolis Colts. This is more than just a game. It's a statement. Touchdown, Jacksonville! The Jags are back home and ready to turn up the heat in their iconic Prowler throwbacks. Kickoff is 1 p.m., so pack the bank and make it loud. Secure your seats now at jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you at the bank.
Ticket here, you know me, I'm a protect the skin kind of guy. That said, it's getting a little cooler and the long sleeves are making their way out. This is absolutely the best time of year to go see my guys, the docs at Beaches Dermatology. Don't wait any longer. It's time. Protect that skin, folks. You know what else it's almost time for? The holidays, coming sooner than we think. Skincare products make great presents for the wife or girlfriend. Knock out a consult and buy your wife a present. Boom! Give them a call today. Online at beachesdermatology.com.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Tired of wrestling with your shower curtain like it's a fight for the last slice of pizza? Ditch the drama and say hello to a smooth, stylish glass shower enclosure from Baker Glass. Wago Glass is clean, elegant, and makes your bathroom look huge and brighter. Give your shower a makeover and feel like you're in a spa without the price tag. I'm Mac at Baker Glass. Call me and get ready to love your new shower. Let's make your shower great again. Remember, Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Your favorite band live, first chord hits. That's a thrill. But for the accident attorneys at Farah & Farah, what thrill beats them all?
It's the thrill of the win. I've been there when the worry is real, when the bills pile up, when the pain doesn't quit, and getting the call that says, "We came through for you." That's huge. It's about seeing that weight lift, helping folks walk out better than when they walked in. Yeah, we're built for that.
Call Farah & Farah, Jacksonville.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Did you know that for every inch of rain on a 2,000 square foot roof, 1,500 gallons come off the eaves of the roof? Call Clearwater Seamless Gutters and Drainage, and we'll design a plan using our Clearwater Seamless Gutters, and we'll connect those gutters to a Clearwater drainage system to solve your erosion and standing water issues.
Clearwater Seamless Gutters. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at gutters. And drainage, too.
SeamlessGuttersJacksonville.com.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete, Get paid for what you don't need.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your National Builder of the Year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% in homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
Why wait until January resolutions to feel stronger and healthier? Start now. At the YMCA, there's no place like this place. This Cyber Monday, you can join the Y with no joining fee and no payments until January. The Y is more than a gym. It's a place to grow in spirit, mind, and body. We say there's no place like this place and no better value. Visit your local Y this Monday for $0 join fee and no payment until January, or at fcymca.org with promo code CLICK to join.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Halftime, Hacker After Dark, 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. We'll take you up till 10 o'clock as we do every night here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. Coming up here in the 9 o'clock hour, we will preview the college football weekend that gets underway. I think there's one game tomorrow night, but then obviously Friday there are some enormous games, including the Egg Bowl, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. You got clean old-fashioned hate with Georgia, Georgia Tech. You got Texas, Texas A&M, among many, many others. And that rolls into Saturday with the Iron Bowl. Of course, the big one is Saturday at 4:30 with the 5-6 Seminoles taking on the 3-8 Florida Gators. But we will talk about all of it with my buddy Brent Beard. You see him locally on First Coast News. You also get him weekly right here on Hacker After Dark. We'll also get back into the Jacksonville Jaguar Tennessee Titan matchup. Jordan DeLugo of Generation Jaguar joins us in less than 15 minutes. As we talked about at the top, Denmark and I recorded the Gator Bites podcast this morning at 8 a.m., and this morning at 8 a.m., it had a very LSU vibe to Lane Kiffin. And you've kind of gotten the LSU vibe for Lane Kiffin for maybe the last 2 or 3 days. And Denmark, maybe it's just the way the wind's blowing, you know, the different things you see on social media. I don't think anybody really knows. But things start to pick up steam. And all of a sudden, you know, in the last couple of hours, I guess, there's starting to be more optimism, at least on the Florida message boards and the Florida side. Again, most people are throwing stuff against a wall and hoping it sticks. I don't know if anybody outside of Lane Kiffin, his family, and Jimmy Sexton really know what's ultimately going to happen. But I sense more optimism in Gator Nation tonight than maybe I did as recently as this morning. Would you agree with that?
Optimism, yes. It's just very weird because nothing is coming out of Gainesville in the last 3 or 4 days. Not even from the Lane Kiffin, but from any other candidate. Like, you're not hearing anything about Summerall or Brent Key or Eli Drinkwitz. Like, nothing.
Is Lane Kiffin, regardless of what he does, staying at Ole Miss, going to LSU, or coming to Florida, with the money he's going to get paid, is it going to be even possible for him to live up to expectations?
Yeah.
I mean, what will that take? 2 national championships?
No, consistently making the playoff, and I would say consistently making a Final Four.
Yeah, about to say that won't work at LSU. I mean, if you're, or Florida even for that matter either. I guess for Florida, making the playoff is one thing. At LSU, if they're giving you $14 million per year and they fired Brian Kelly because 9-10 wins wasn't good enough, getting to the Final Four or making the national title game or ultimately winning the title, that's going to be the only acceptable thing, I think, for Kiffin.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, you know, as the years go on, you know, I don't know if Kiffin's always going to be, from here on out, he's going to be one of the top 5 highest paid coaches. That's just how it's going to be. Even if, you know, he stays at Ole Miss somehow, which I don't think happens, but if he does, his contract is always going to be restructured to where he is always going to be one of the highest paid guys.
You and I talked about 4 names on the podcast earlier today that were not named Lane Kiffin. If Lane Kiffin does not come to Florida, the names out there are Eli Drinkwitz of Missouri, Clark Lee, Vanderbilt, John Summerall at Tulane, and Brent Key at Georgia Tech. Of those 4, who would you want the most?
I'd probably lean Clark Lee out of all of them, and then probably Brent Key 2, or Summerall 2, Brent Key 3, and then Eli Drinkwitz 4. Apparently, Eli Drinkwitz was supposed to have a meeting today regarding his future. That was supposed to happen at 3 o'clock. I haven't seen anything from that. And, the other guys here, and apparently Auburn really wants Summerall. If Florida's left out the altar and they don't get Lane Kiffin, and then Summerall leaves to go to Auburn, holy Pascoli. This is going to be real bad.
It'll be a disaster for Scott Strickland. Now, the question is, if you don't get Kiffin, and if you're interested in Clark Lee or Brent Key, both of those guys are currently at their alma maters. How much would that complicate things? Could you pry somebody away from their alma mater to take the Florida job? I mean, normally, under normal circumstances, the Georgia Tech coach or certainly the Vanderbilt coach would leave for Florida no problem. But those 2 guys have a vested interest in those schools because they went there.
Yeah, money talks at the end of the day, I think. And I think at the end of the day, those resources that Florida has that Vanderbilt does not have, I think eventually will come to fruition. And then their agent will probably get in there and be like, look, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You don't get things like this. Coaching jobs that are top 10 in the country don't come available every year. So we'll see. I do think, though, I don't think Florida's going to wait another week if they don't get Lane Kiffin. Kiffin decision is going to be made on Saturday.
We think.
Yeah.
Again, like you said, that could easily change, though. If Texas were to upset Texas A&M on Friday night, Ole Miss technically is still alive for the SEC championship game at that point. So would you have to wait till after the Iron Bowl then for Lane Kiffin to decide?
You would have to.
I would think so.
Yeah, and then if Lane Kiffin, if Ole Miss is in the SEC title, I don't see how he leaves.
Agreed. Then this fiasco could go on for another week. Although, like we saw with the committee last night when they came out with the rankings, Ole Miss did drop from number 6 to number 7, and the conventional thinking now is Ole Miss has to beat Mississippi State, which they probably will. But you know how those rivalry games are, and they have to go to Starkville. If Ole Miss wins, they're guaranteed a playoff spot. If Ole Miss loses to fall to 10-2, they're probably going to be out of the playoff entirely, which is a crazy, crazy thing to think about, a 10-2 SEC team not getting into the playoff. So we'll talk much more about that. We'll preview Florida and Florida State with Brent Beard. That comes up towards the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour. Coming up next, let's get back into the Jacksonville Jaguars as they head to Nashville on Sunday to take on the Tennessee Titans. I'll have the 5th quarter for you with Leon Searcy and the coach Gerald Ingram 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Titans go final on Sunday evening. Let's preview Jacksonville and Tennessee. Jordan DeLugo, Generation Jaguar. Always love talking ball with Jordan. He joins us next on a Thanksgiving Eve here on Hacker After Dark. We're with you till 10 o'clock, Jacksonville. We're glad you're with us. It's 1010XL, and it's 92.5 FM.
There's nothing like the feeling of a college football Saturday.
I'm RJ Saunders, and we'll share stories about players and coaches and get you ready for the games.
It's the Bueller Aaron Plumbing College Kickoff.
Served up by Sonny's Barbecue.
Friday night at 6 on 1010XL.
Truth Teller here, and I've solved all of your holiday problems and stress. A gift card from the Blue Crab Crab House. Get this, you buy a $50 gift card, and you get an additional $15 card for free. It's that simple, and as always at the Blue Crab Crab House, the best crabs in Jacksonville, oysters, and seafood, period. Blue Crab Crab House, open every day except for Monday off of San Jose on Jewington Creek Road.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and this time of the year, Honda has such a great lineup, especially when you want to get out on the road and just cruise.
Temperature's letting up a little bit, like Oktoberfest is coming. legendary Honda Goldwing, legendary Honda Rebel that's now an automatic. Lots to choose from and lots of easy riding.
In the price range and the size of the bike, you have a wide variety.
We do, from entry points to the finest of the fine.
All right, check them out. Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency or their Facebook page.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks. With over 1,700 five-star Google reviews, it was a no-brainer to have Closets by Design help us get organized at home. They create custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms and more. Closets by Design will transform clutter into seamless organization. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation before the holidays and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off with free installation. 18-month financing is available. Call 878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
As a contractor, finding reliable subcontractors is key to project success. Prosser here. Guys, that's where Lloyd's Heating and Air shines. Not just your mechanical HVAC expert, but your partner, understanding every facet of construction to keep your project on track. Lloyd's will spot issues early before they cause delays. If you're a contractor with a need for reliability, visit LloydsHeatingandAir.com. Lloyd's Heating and Air, keeping you comfortable in every season.
Put a little hot sauce on your lunchtime listening. Spicy. Joe Coward, Matt Hayden, and Leon Searcy. They are XL Prime Time.
4-alarm fire.
From the big #1 Duval Ford Studios. Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where did I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
It's the end-of-year sales event going on now at Atlantic Infinity. This is Hayes Carlyon. Get 0% interest on select new Infinity models and special lease offers on the stunning QX60. Luxury, performance, and style, all in one drive. All new vehicles are backed with the exclusive Atlantic Infinity Promise. That's over $7,000 in added value just for buying smarter. Visit AtlanticInfinity.com to see all new models or visit the showroom near Atlantic and St. John's Bluff.
This is Garrett Scantlin, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists for any orthopedic issue you have. I'm back to my Olympic training, and I feel great.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple years ago. Went smooth as silk, was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
San Jose Collision is hiring for an automotive detailer and porter. If you're detail-oriented, dependable, and love working with cars, apply in person at San Jose Collision in Mandarin. Valid driver's license required.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296. Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429. Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
Why wait for a reason to send flowers? Celebrate life's little wins, or just celebrate you. Stop into the showroom on Beach and Southside, or online at JacksonvilleFlowerMarket.com. Jacksonville Flower Market. We make every day bloom.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, we are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Titans, Sunday, 1 o'clock. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. The Jaguars now 7-4, coming off another road overtime victory last Sunday against Arizona. Let's review Arizona. Let's preview Tennessee and all points in between with Jordan DeLugo, Generation Jaguar. He's always kind enough to join us here on Hacker After Dark. Jordan, how we doing, man?
Cannot complain too much. Enjoying covering a wild football team right now. The Jaguars, whether they win, whether they lose, it is entertaining and it is wild to watch.
I mean, it is the ultimate roller coaster. It is absolutely craziness. And Jordan, there's a lot to get into about the win in Arizona on Sunday, but there is something to be said for a team that turns it over 4 times, a team that was already without BTJ, Anton Harrison, Trayvon Walker, and Jordan Lewis, finding a way to win. Was it a work of art? Of course not. But at the end of the day, they found a way to win a road game in overtime, and that was a big, big win for the Jaguars.
Hey, art is subjective, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, unbelievable. And not they've gone west 3 times, out west, unfamiliar places, and gotten big wins. And there's so many parts of the team where it's like if this part of the team needs help and needs another part of the team to step up, it's kind of like complementary football. It's bizarre though. I mean, you just don't expect to see a team, like you said, turn it over 4 times. Give up so many leads at different times, and then just keep bouncing back and fighting back. Like you said, it's a roller coaster to watch this team right now. Against the Chargers, not much of a roller coaster, but outside of that, the last few games, I mean, the Raiders game was back and forth. The Texans game had the unbelievable lead and then lost it, and then this game as well. It's almost impossible to describe.
11 games, there's been 3 outliers. Carolina, the Chargers on the winning side, the Rams on the losing side. Even Seattle was a 1-possession game at the 2-minute warning. I mean, 8 of the 11, you did not know the outcome with 2 minutes to go in the ball game. It has been absolutely wild. The Jaguars have pulled out 5 of those wins. And look, Trevor Lawrence threw 3 picks. He was responsible for 4 turnovers. But in saying that, and those were bad, certainly, to come back from that, and that throw to Parker Washington, I don't know how many quarterbacks in the NFL can make that throw. And then to lead him down to that field goal in overtime, boy, Trevor, resilient yet again in that win on Sunday.
Yeah, he had a lot of great throws. I think there's two camps on the Trevor Lawrence situation. Some people want him out. Some people are riding with Trevor no matter what. I think that there's 2 objective truths about the way he's playing right now. One is he's turning the ball over too often. He's short-circuiting way too much. It's kind of inexplainable why it's happening so much, how it's happening so much. But the fact of the matter is it is happening. And then you also have the reverse side of that coin. He's been incredibly clutch. Every single close game, he's given the Jaguars a lead late in the game, whether it's a game-winning drive or a drive where towards the end they take the lead. It's like I said about the entire team, it's kind of unbelievable and indescribable.
Jordan DeLugo, Generation Jaguar, with us here on Hacker After Dark. You know, you talk about the receiving core, and you saw how much they missed Brenton Strange. 5 grabs, 93 yards. Parker Washington had 5 for 71 and a touchdown. And then Jacoby Myers doing his thing. At some point, we expect Brian Thomas Jr. to be back in the fold. But I think those 3 in particular, Strange, Washington, and Myers, all with gigantic games on Sunday in Arizona.
Yeah, and to me, at this point in the season, those are the 3 receivers that you have to be focused on getting the ball and making sure that you're giving them opportunities to help you win the game, because when they are given those opportunities, a lot more often than not, they're coming through, making big plays. And it also just feels like there's chemistry between Lawrence and those receivers. Even if Myers has only been here for 3 games, it just feels like the chemistry is there. And with Washington, they've been playing together for a long time. Same thing with Strange. So those are the big three right now for me. Obviously, you'd love to have Travis Hunter out there. You'd love to have a healthy Brian Thomas Jr. that's playing at his best, but this is what you have right now. And I think that that's good enough to help you move the ball and score points.
You know, there's no doubt that the pass rush has been lacking at times this year. That was not the case on Sunday. They sacked Jacoby Brissett 6 times, even without Trayvon Walker. And I'll give Anthony Campanile a ton of credit. Obviously, a lot of blitz packages. Antonio Johnson with a sack. Dewey Winger, Jarian Jones on some safety blitzes got in there. And then Hines Allen doing his thing. But Hines Allen finally got some help from, Dennis Gardeck. And I love Strigow and B.J. Green. I think they found two diamonds in the rough as undrafted rookie free agents. What was your thought on the pass rush on Sunday?
Yeah, that's such a cool story. And, with the undrafted free agents, like how you just don't see that very often in Jacksonville. And generally speaking, 2 undrafted free agents coming together at the same position, they make the team and they're actually helping make an impact once they get on the field due to injuries. But I thought the pass rush was impressive. To me, though, the pass rush and the coverage are married. Like, you always hear that from coaches. It's true. The coverage is giving the pass rush a little bit more time to impact the quarterback right now. It just is. The last couple of weeks, it absolutely has done that. Part of that is not being off coverage across the board. Part of that is just, even when you are in off coverage, being able to execute your assignment at a little higher level. I don't think that the pass rush has all of a sudden just figured out how to get home that much quicker. I think that they're being aided greatly by the coverage over the last couple of weeks, and they're capitalizing on that help that the coverage is actually giving them.
Couple of more for Jordan DeLugo, Generation Jaguar. Jordan, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because I want to talk about the future, but you're kind of a numbers guy. I was shocked that the Jaguars did not take that field goal with 1:40 to go up 6. I couldn't believe they went for it on 4th down. What was your thought on that?
Yeah, so you kick the field goal, you go up 6, right? So you still, whether or not, they score a touchdown and you lose, right? Either way. Now, if you don't kick the field goal, you're up 3, which is what they did. They didn't get it, right? They didn't get the first down, but they still have to score a touchdown to win.
Mm-hmm.
Either way. And so, to me, I think the risk was worth it, because I just don't think a field goal gives you that much in that situation. And I think that that's what Liam Cohen thinks as well. Either way, if they score a touchdown in that moment, if you don't get it or if you kick the field goal, they win. So I understood it. I know there's a lot of criticism out there about that type of call, maybe about the actual play call. To me, I totally get the decision.
Yeah, it worked out for him. I'll be honest with you, man. I would have kicked the field goal. And if you're going to go for it, I don't know about rolling your quarterback out to the short side of the field and throwing a bomb to Tim Patrick. Now, maybe that wasn't the first option, certainly. But, if they would have lost, that would have been a much, much, much more critique decision from Liam Cohen. But nevertheless, they did win. And let me get to Liam Cohen right now in our final moments with Jordan DeLugo of Generation Jaguar. This was a 5-18 team in their previous 23 games prior to Cohen's arrival. They're 7-4 this year, and they're doing it without Travis Hunter. Brian Thomas Jr. has missed multiple games. Trayvon Walker's missed multiple games. Brenton Strange, Devin Lloyd, Anton Harrison, Jordan Lewis. I mean, good grief, man. He's not going to get consideration, at least in my opinion, for Coach of the Year because it's the Jaguars, and people are going to look at Vrabel in New England and Steichen in Indy, and with good reason. Those guys have been good as well. But I don't know if there's been a much better coaching job to this point in the season than what Cohen has done here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I'd agree. And so much of it, like, he is great with the X's and O's on offense. I think Campanile is a smart coach, too. There's just been some moments where it's tough to figure out exactly how to handle some of the things that have happened on the defensive side of the ball. But I do think Liam Cohen, his leadership No one talked about his leadership before he got here. Everybody talked about his X's and O's, his run game, getting the offense going. I think his leadership is just as important, if not more important. The way he connects with the players, the way that he galvanizes them and identifies with them, it's huge.
Jordan, it's a gigantic week in the AFC South. Quickly, before we talk about Tennessee, I almost wonder if Jaguar fans should not root for Indianapolis on Sunday. Indy hosts Houston. Indy's still a game up, but you play Indy twice. Houston is really peaking right now. If Houston goes in there and wins, man, I don't know. That would get them to 7-5. You don't play Houston again if you're the Jaguars. I don't necessarily know if there's a bad outcome. Somebody's going to lose between the Colts and the Texans. I mean, what's your thought on that?
Yeah, I think it's kind of one of those things you could really go either way and not be wrong. But if the Colts lose that game, all of a sudden you have a chance to go a game up in the division if you beat them the next week, right? Not just like tied for the division record and having the tiebreaker because you beat the Colts. Like, you could go up a game, and that would be incredible to be a game up in the division after the way this season unfolded. So I lean towards you want the Colts to lose, but I totally get, to me, there's some sort of like mindset of if you want the Texans to lose, you're kind of like playing scared. It's like, have the Colts lose and then go beat them and then go take a division lead.
Yeah,
I know you can tie it and then be ahead because of the tiebreaker, but like, go get a game up on them.
That's a fair point. Yeah, I don't know if there's really necessarily a wrong answer. It's going to be a heck of a game. And that does bring me to Nashville and our final moments with Jordan DeLugo of Generation Jaguar. Look, it's going to be the talking point all week. And it's the easy talking point, so maybe I'm taking the easy way out here. You're playing the 1-10 Titans with a gargantuan game against Indianapolis here in Jacksonville a week later. Is there concern for you about a look ahead?
Sure. There's also concern that the Titans have been in the last 3 games they've played. I mean, they've played the Chargers, Texans, and Seahawks, and they haven't lost by more than a score to any of them, right? So they've only won 1 game this year, and it was against the Cardinals, funnily enough. But, there's definitely got to be some concern about that. But if Liam Cohen is the coach that you think he is, which, by all accounts, he's doing a great job, it should not be difficult to get the Jaguars excited about playing the Tennessee Titans.
Certainly the big rival, no question about it. And you're right. I think the Titans have lost their last 3 games by only a combined 16 points. So 1-10, yes, but they are in all of these games. It'll be a big one. You'll hear it right here on 1010XL with kickoff at 1 o'clock. Jordan, tell the Jaguar fans here in Jacksonville about Generation Jaguar and the coverage you'll have leading into the game in Nashville on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. Over this week, we'll be doing a full game preview. We'll get into matchups. We'll get into bold predictions, all that stuff. You can check it out on YouTube, Gen Jag. You can also find us on your podcast platform of choice.
Jordan DeLugo, Generation Jaguar. Jordan, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. We'll talk soon, pal.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Hacker.
It's for the state, for the pride, and for the fans. Will the Seminoles sink in the swamp?
Chop, chop, chop!
Florida State. Kickoff at 4:30 on Jacksonville's home of Florida Gators football. 1010 XL.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick. We're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 14th.
I'm with Retro Cycles of Jacksonville, and the fall part of the year just offers so much fun, especially when you're out and about. Tell everybody what's happening with Triumph right now.
They have got a lot of new models on the road, from Scrambler 400s. They've got the legendary Rocket motorcycle. Lots of really cool bikes to choose from.
And the price point and all the tricks that come with the Triumph bike, they're all there.
They're all there. Entry level to the greatest of the great. We've got them.
Look for them online, cyclesofjacksonville.com. Check out their Facebook page or that showroom on Atlantic near Regency.
Florida Gators football on 1010XL is driven by Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. And the law firm of Farah and Farah. Get Gators play-by-play on 1010XL.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins, fighting for your rights since 1975.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
Dreams Come True is the only local wish-granting organization giving dreams and special times to local children battling life-threatening illnesses. Find out how you can help at dreamscometrue.org.
City Rescue Mission provides life-changing support for the homeless. Find ways to get involved at crmjacks.org.
Her Song is a nonprofit organization that breaks the cycle of human trafficking through survivor care, victim outreach, and education. Find out how you can help at hersong.org.
If you could benefit from a grief and loss support group, call Haven Hospice at 279-1677.
The 5-Star Veteran Center of Jacksonville is the place homeless veterans can go to recover, recharge, retrain, and reconnect. Learn more at 5starveterancenter.org.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Hard to believe the final week of the college football regular season is upon us. Rivalry week. Of course, good old-fashioned hate with Georgia and Georgia Tech. You got the Iron Bowl, Auburn, Alabama. You got Florida, Florida State as well. Huge games all over the country, really, in particular here in the southeastern part of the country. Let's talk about all of it, and also let's give our final thoughts on Lane Kiffin and where he will ultimately end up in 2026. My buddy Brent Beard, you see him locally on First Coast News, and you also get him right here on Hacker After Dark. Mr. Beard, how are you, my friend?
Well, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours and all our listeners. We hope they enjoyed the week. I mean, it's an amazing week in a lot of ways with what's going on and so many things yet to be decided. In the SEC was really smart in waiting until this week to just see what happens in a lot of these rivalry games. The thing we've got to remember about rivalry games is even a 3-win team can play its game of the year in a rivalry game, and that's what we often see, and that's why the favorite is pushed to the limit the way that it is. So, and the SEC decided to wait to announce who's going to be in the SEC championship game until this weekend is over. Usually we know that. So that adds a lot of intrigue to what's going on, doesn't it, Hank?
Yeah, it does. And there's a lot of tiebreaker scenarios at play to find out who's going to be in that SEC championship game. Brent, we're going to talk about that. We're certainly going to talk about Lane Kiffin, but let's begin with Florida State and their announcement that Mike Norvell will return in 2026. I have not talked to one Florida State fan, not one, that is happy about this. And to me, and tell me what your thoughts are, this is a simple situation of we just simply don't want to pay $50+ million to buy him out of that contract.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. Yeah, I mean, I've seen as much as 54 million and then millions of the staff. But I mean, at some point, you've got to do something to energize your fan base. And having the schedule they normally have, the Alabama game will be in Tuscaloosa, and I'm sure they'll be looking for revenge too. But I mean, it's just a difficult situation, and they'll make a lot of changes under him. But heck, let me ask an honest question here. I know some assistant coaches will take the job, but how many assistant coaches are going to be taking that Florida State job knowing that the entire staff could be cleaned out by the middle or toward the end of next year? You can easily see the ramifications of keeping him that frankly aren't very good.
Well, that's exactly right. And you go to the high school recruiting ranks as well. Now, it's a little different with the portal and NIL and how things have changed, but he will be negatively recruited against horribly. Sure. I mean, if you go to a high school kid that's committed to Florida State, say, well, why on earth would you commit to Mike Norvell when he's likely to be gone after the 26th season anyway?
He is 22-26 in the ACC during the time that he was there. I mean, he's been there 6 years. They had, 2 good years. In fact, they almost had a really, really good year. And then their quarterback gets hurt a couple of seasons ago. So it's just not a good situation right now at all. And the last thing that fan base and school needs is to get run over by a truck in Gainesville coming up. And frankly, if Florida is playing and they're motivated, something like that could happen.
You see Brent Beard on First Coast News. You also get him weekly right here on Hacker After Dark. Florida State trying to get the bowl eligibility on Saturday in Gainesville. Let's go to the Gators side of things, and we'll focus on Lane Kiffin, Brent, in a moment. Last week was bad for the Gators. I mean, it was 31-0 before you blinked. Tennessee took the foot off the gas pedal. They probably could have put 70 on Florida if they wanted to, quite frankly. They went through the motions in the second half, won the game by 20 points anyway. And look, with Florida, sometimes you just need a season to end, and the Gators just need this season to end. It's going to end on Saturday, win or lose, because obviously they're not going to a bowl game. I think they'll circle the wagons, but I got to tell you, Brent, as beat up as they are and as awful as this season has been, I just don't know what Florida has left in the tank.
Yeah, I agree with that. And their fans are certainly hoping they can do something to muster up 60 minutes of energy in order to beat their big rivals. I mean, I know that would still mean something to them the whole season, but basically you've just been a downer in many ways. I think we knew it was over when the defense was not effective, and they have not been effective now for quite some time, and that's a disappointment too. So, I mean, I've seen these little memes about Florida and Florida State are playing on the Cartoon Network this week, and things like that are going around. We may never, I hope we never do, we may never see another year, Hack, that Florida and Florida State have struggled the way they have during the season. I mean, Miami's been up, South Florida's been up, but when Florida and Florida State are struggling the way they do, it's not a good situation. And look, we'll have plenty of time to talk about this, but both those schools need a real upgrade at quarterback, and that would help them over the next few months.
Combined records of 8-14 for Florida and Florida State. 4:30 kickoff on ESPN2, Brent. Nothing quite says college football tradition like 4:30 on ESPN2 for Florida and Florida State on Saturday afternoon. That brings us to Lane Kiffin. I mean, Brent, I'm tired, man. You know, I'm exhausted. All the news about Lane Kiffin, you know, is he going to stay at Ole Miss? Is he going to LSU? Is he going to Florida? I think it changes, 3, 4, 5 times a day. We're going to get some clarity on this reportedly on Saturday. Brent, if he's staying at Ole Miss, he's done them a true disservice because he could have announced that, weeks ago. He could have announced it at any time. He's just dragging this along. And the more time that goes by, the more time it certainly feels like he's going to leave Oxford.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And look, obviously the choice probably is between LSU and Florida. The problem you've got right now with LSU is LSU is just a circus. Frankly, they when you fire your coach and you're not willing to pay him, and look, Lane Kiffin and his people, Jimmy Sexton, they need to look at this, Hank. They need to see, frankly, how Brian Kelly has been treated here. And I know both sides are probably at fault, but when you won't give someone the money they're owed or you're trying to get around it, that's a real problem. And LSU is at Oklahoma, and they'll probably just go through the motions with this too. I will be interested to see how they play. But how much is Kiffin looking at the LSU situation? Frankly, right now, look, you hear stuff, you don't know whether it's true or not. But the people I've talked to, I think he may end up at Florida. I don't think he's going to stay at Ole Miss. I agree with you. If you're going to make that decision, of course, he's got the power right now, and he can wait. And look, I do understand in his defense, waiting till the season is over, but he needs to make a decision, and Ole Miss and everybody else involved, that they need to make a decision too. But I will say this, right now let's just say he goes to Florida. I mean, the thought process is, yes, his leaving Ole Miss may not be as clean as people would like it to be, but how I'm just asking this out loud here, how quickly would he energize the Florida faithful if he comes to Gainesville?
Final moments with Brent Beard. You see him locally on First Coast News. You also get him weekly right here on Hacker After Dark. Brent, what complicates it a little bit is Ole Miss is still alive for the SEC championship game, which would be another interesting subplot of this whole story. And the thing with Kiffin is this. Whether he comes to Florida, LSU, or for that matter stays at Ole Miss, whatever he chooses to do, the expectations on him, because this has been such a circus, and wherever he goes, he's going to get $1 zillion. I don't know if he's going to be able to live up to the expectations. It's a real interesting situation.
Well, it is, and as far as the money is concerned, Kirby Smart makes more than anybody in the nation right now at about, and I may be off a little bit, but it's like 13.7 or something like that, and they're talking about paying Kiffin 15. Now think about that a minute. Now Georgia will up Kirby. I don't have any doubt about that. But I mean, and the people who asked the question, and this is a legitimate question, is, well, what has Lane Kiffin actually won? And the truth of the matter is, he's not won an SEC title. He's not won a national title. So I get that. But at the same time, Kiffin would energize your program. I mean, even if he was at Florida 5 years and they took a turn for the better, and then Kiffin goes to the NFL, which I still think he's got some interest to that, then that would be a real possibility too. So the subplots of this right now, Hack, are almost endless, aren't they?
No, they are. And look, as we begin to wrap up, I mean, the situation with Lane Kiffin, If not Lane Kiffin, you got to wonder what Florida would do, turning, maybe Lincoln Riley. We've heard all those names. See, Scott Strickland has backed himself in a really tough spot here because if he misses out on Kiffin, the fan base is going to be fuming, right?
Yes.
And you cannot go get Jed Fish, all right? You cannot go get – to me, I don't think you can go get a Jeff Brom. You're going to have to try to go get a Lincoln Riley or somebody along those lines, or this is going to be a complete fiasco for Strickland.
Yeah, and I agree with that, and I've looked at that too. And the reality of it is, Lincoln Riley is, he really hasn't won anything either, and he doesn't have much of a defense. I think they're improved this year, and they have made strides. But Riley is a name, and if you were able to get him out of Southern Cal, I think that would really mean something. But your point's a good one. Or are they going to just think that how disappointed it is? And look, if they don't get Kiffin, I agree with you. Whoever they bring in is going to have several weeks of trying to pump up fan base and make some good decisions. So, but there is, and look, you and I've talked about this, frankly, the whole year. What has happened off the field. Now, look, I think the playoffs will take over and we'll be fine. But frankly, what's happening off the field has really overwhelmed what's happened on the field, has it not?
There's no question. Brent, final question. We got 60 seconds. It appears if Kiffin leaves Ole Miss, they're not going to let him coach the playoff. Do you agree with that?
I frankly don't. I think they ought to work out some kind of a deal to where he's going to coach the playoffs, because he knows that team. He understands what they can do. I think they'd be smart to keep him. Look, recruiting will eventually get done, and they can name an interim or whatever they wanted to do. But to your point, that is, I get it, but yet he's the guy who brought you there. Let him finish the season, however that goes.
You see Brent Beard on First Coast News. You also get him weekly right here on Hacker After Dark. Brent, a very happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, and we'll be back next week to recap what should be a terrific rivalry weekend, my friend.
Absolutely, bud. Always enjoy it. Happy Thanksgiving to all our listeners.
And thank you to my buddy Brent Beard. You see him locally on First Coast News. You also get him weekly right here on Hacker After Dark. As, look, a big college football weekend, rivalry weekend, Florida State. There are at least bragging rights on the line there. You got the Iron Bowl with Auburn and Alabama. You got clean old-fashioned hate with Georgia Tech. It's my favorite weekend of the year, no question about it. And we should have some clarity not only on the college football playoff situation coming up after this weekend, but obviously some clarity on the Lane Kiffin situation as well. So we spent a lot of time on that tonight. But as you can imagine, it was a lot of time on the Jacksonville Jaguars as well as they head up to Nashville on Sunday to take on the Tennessee Titans. You'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. Of course, we'll have the fifth quarter for you 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Titans go final. This is our final show before Thanksgiving. So as far as predictions go, give me Jacksonville over Tennessee. I can't imagine Jacksonville is going to overlook the Titans. I do think it'll be a battle, probably a close game in the fourth quarter, but I think Jacksonville will do enough to come out of Nashville with a win, and then give me Florida State over Florida in good conscience. How can you pick Florida with the way they played last week? Florida State has a chance to go to a bowl game, probably a pretty powerful motivator. So give me the Jaguars over the Titans, and give me the Seminoles over the Gators. Well, that will just about do it for a Wednesday night edition of Hacker After Dark. Certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. We have a ton of people to thank. Again, my buddy Brent Beard. You see him locally on First Coast News. You also get him weekly right here on Hacker After Dark. Thank you to Jordan DeLugo, Generation Jaguar, for joining us tonight. My guy up in Nashville, Tyler Rowland, is the host of the Locked On Titans podcast, as we got the Tennessee perspective of this matchup on Sunday. And my buddy Cecil Shorts, former wide receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You get him every week here on Hacker After Dark. Now, again, our final show before Thanksgiving. Hope you guys have a terrific Thanksgiving. Enjoy the family, enjoy the friends. And the next time I talk to you will be Sunday evening, 2 hours after the Jaguars and the Titans go final for the fifth quarter. I'll be on, of course, with the coach, Gerald Ingram, and the Pro Bowler, Leon Searcy. Dylan Denmark was your producer tonight. Denmark, great job as always. I'm the hacker, Ryan Green. And again, Jacksonville, thank you for spending not only your Wednesday evening with us, but your entire week with us here on Hacker After.